What's up, BooTube? One, my battery is literally dying, and two, it's getting kind of late-ish, so I might be able to record episodes 3 and 5 and upload them, but 6 and 7 might have to wait. But I promise you, episodes 6 and 7 will be recorded and uploaded before episode 8 or any other episode airs. So I will get them, and I promise you, I'm working as fast as I can. But anyway, this is for Season 4, Episode 3, and Season 4, Episode 5, because I already have Episode 4 uploaded on here a while back. But anyway, this is Episode 3. Sorry, something popped up in my screen. Episode 3, titled Restoration, and as the title perceives, maybe the restoration of Sarah Lance. Maybe, I don't know, because we all know in the previous episode, Laurel is going to Nanda Parbat with Thea, one, to help find a way to control her bloodlust, and two, to bring Sarah's dead body there to probably put in the Lazarus pit. And I know it's kind of dark, I'm sorry, it's, you know, with the whole daylight savings thing ending and all that stuff, it gets darker faster here now. But anyway, so Laurel and Thea, they tell pretty much everybody else that they're going to a spa weekend together, while they're really going to Nanda Parbat. And while they arrive at Nanda Parbat, they request Malcolm, who, as you well know, is a new Ra's al Ghul, to use the Lazarus pit to bring Sarah back to life. And as we all know, he's against it, mainly because Thea, who was on the verge of death, was put in the Lazarus pit, and now she's gone all bonkers and bloodlust crazy. So, you know, he initially refuses it, but in order to make Thea happy, he eventually caves in and agrees to do so. Unfortunately, in between him refusing and him, you know, making Thea happy and saying yes, we see Nyssa, and she's like, no, don't do it, and all that stuff, and she literally tries to fight them at one point, I believe. And she hates the idea. I'm kind of jiffy about the idea, too. I mean, look what happened to Thea. She wasn't really dead, but she was on the verge of death, and now she's totally feral and bloodthirsty about being in the pit. And I've read the comics. I've seen what happens in the Lazarus pit with Ra's al Ghul in the comics and with Jason Todd in the comics. I've seen what happens, especially Jason Todd. He was dead, like Sarah, and he was put in the pit, and he was just freaking crazy. He literally jumped out of a window in Ra's al Ghul's palace and like hella feet below down jagged rocks and rivers and all that shit. So I was kind of against it too, not gonna lie. They do manage to put Sarah in the Lazarus pit, and literally Sarah, she comes out like slowly, right? And all of a sudden she literally leaps out and she's like freakishly feral, which I pretty much predicted would happen because Herp and Derp, like I said, in the comics, Jason Todd, like Sarah Lance, both dead, both put in the Lazarus pit. Jason he was not in his right mind for the longest time, and he himself was also feral, so I pretty much figured Sarah was going to be the same way. And, Nyssa, you know, not liking what happened, why Sarah's all feral, like, one, she opposed for bringing Sarah back to life in the first place, and two, bringing her back to life at the Lazarus pit was like a double whammy for her. She's like, no, I know the Lazarus pit. I know what it can do to people. I don't want you to bring back Sarah with the Lazarus pit. Bringing back Sarah when she's just started to like, get over the fact that her love is dead. You're bringing her back and with the Lazarus pit, and she knows how that Lazarus pit works. So, in retaliation of Sarah coming back to life from the Lazarus pit and her being all feral and shit, she retaliates by literally destroying the Lazarus pit, and of course, Malcolm's pissed off. Anyway, I don't know what to really say. I saw this coming, but at the same time, it wasn't such a good idea. In my opinion, it wasn't really a good idea. But anyway, an Argus operative, later, like, going back to away from Nanda Parbat, an Argus operative pretty much delivers Diggle information on a woman named Mina Fayed, who basically hired Floyd Lawton. If you remember who Floyd Lawton is, he's Deadshot. Basically, Mina Fayed hired Deadshot to kill his brother Andy. So Fayad apparently, the woman Mina Fayad apparently works for Hive. You guys remember Hive, right? I don't really want to go too much in detail with Hive. They are in the comics, and if you guys remember from an old cartoon called Teen Titans, and no, I'm not talking about that rubbish that is going on right now. Not Teen Titans Go, that is rubbish to me. I'm talking about the original Teen Titan cartoon. Hive is mentioned a lot in that particular animated cartoon. And, yeah, look it up, Hive, guys. Apparently, Fayad works for Hive, and Fayad hired Deadshot to kill his brother. So, Fayad goes to Damien Dark and pretty much discusses the growing issue about the vigilantes all in Star City. And, because of that, she's kind of worried and all that stuff, and she brings in a metahuman, which is interesting because you don't get many metahumans in Arrow. You get them a lot in Flash, but you barely see any in Arrow. I'm not sure if there was one in Arrow. There could have been. But as far as I remember, this might be the only, maybe first or maybe second metahuman you ever see in Arrow. But basically, Fayad brings a metahuman hitman named Jeremy Tell. I'm trying to remember who Jeremy is. Hang on. So, apparently I looked up Jeremy Tell because he sounds freakishly familiar, and the fact that he's a metahuman, I kept thinking, metahuman, maybe he has a connection to Flash, and I was actually right, because I looked it up, and Jeremy Tell is apparently formerly a con artist and a compulsive gambler and a villain from The Flash. And so, this Jeremy Tell, he's a metahuman in the show who could turn his playing card tattoos into actual physical projectiles. Like, think of it kind of like Marvel's Gambit, but the only difference is instead of, Marvel's Gambit, he literally had cards and he threw them at people and used it as projectiles with, like, his mutant powers. Jeremy here in this show, he has tattoos. Card tattoos, and he could turn them into his tattoos into legit projectiles, which is pretty cool. Anyway, after Tal's initial failure, Damien Dark pretty much kills Mina Fayad for basically challenging him. I'm not sure if it's like challenging him because she hired someone to kill people without his permission, but basically Dark kills her for challenging him, and Diggle and Oliver actually team up to take down Jeremy Tell, and that's where Oliver actually takes a projectile card. I forgot where he got hit, but he pretty much gets hit by one of the projectile cards, pretty much protecting Diggle, and that's where finally, Diggle actually somewhat reconciles with Oliver, because in a way, it's kind of like Oliver took a bullet for Diggle, you know what I mean? But instead of a bullet, it's a card, but it's basically the same kind of gesture, It's like taking a bullet for somebody, and that's what Oliver pretty much did. And basically, after all that, they still get new information about Hive, which kind of sucks, Despite the fact that they took down Tell and Diggle and Oliver, they, made up, they still have no new information and any connection between Diggle's brother and Hive, you know what I mean? Anyway, like, there's a flashback of Oliver back at the island where he is pretty much forced to use torture techniques after a parcel of drugs ends up going missing. And basically, he's forced to use torture techniques to interrogate the prisoners because the prisoners apparently are the ones being used to harvest heroin and cocaine hybrid plants, right? And apparently, one of the parcel of drugs goes missing, and in the flashback, Oliver has no choice but is forced to use torture techniques if he wants to blend in with these military people. But anyway, that's pretty much all of Restoration. Honestly, it's not much to go by, but in my opinion, I still think it was a bad idea. I mean, I'm happy Sarah's alive. We all know that we see her in the trailer for Legends of Tomorrow, so obviously she's fine. But it's like, I'm only judging this by my comic book knowledge. I don't have much knowledge, but we saw what happened with Jason Todd, and we continue to see what's going on with Jason Todd, even with the New 52. Jason's not himself anymore. Jason already was a troubled guy, and even Sarah was troubled herself. I mean, after the whole Queen's Gambit, she's been through hell, she's been through the League of Assassins, she's had her own baggage similar to Jason, and they're troubled young people, you know what I mean? And they died. People who love them are trying to move on, but they end up being revived and not in their right mind because of the Lazarus Pit. And I thought in the beginning it was already a bad idea to begin with. So I don't know what to say about Laurel thinking bringing Sarah back was okay. I know she misses her sister, and she also thinks, this will be good for the father. Your daughter's alive. Your other daughter's alive. But feral Sarah is not a very good thing. That's all I gotta say. But anyway, I will see you guys for my next video. I know this is shorter than my normal ones. Usually, this is 4 minutes shorter. But anyway, I'll see you in the next one, because considering I already recorded and uploaded episode 4 titled Beyond Redemption, I will see you in the next one, which is episode 5 called Haunted. And I'll see you guys in the next video. And I'm sorry it's so dark, you can barely see me. It's getting dark here. But I promise I will have episode 5 recorded and uploaded soon. And hopefully before Sunday, I will have episodes 6 and 7, which are titled Lost Souls and Brotherhood, recorded and uploaded. I will have them at least recorded by Sunday, and I hope that I'll at least have them uploaded by Monday. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Haunted. Bye.